Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to show you how you can use your Nintendo Switch Pro controller and also the pair of Joy-Cons, not just one, but the pair of them on the PlayStation 4. So in this video I'm using a PlayStation 4 Slim, but it will also work on a PlayStation 4 Pro and also the original PlayStation 4. So this works really well once you get it set up. To get it set up you need to have two adapters and also a USB hub. So we need a Cronus Max and we also need the Magic NS adapter. So that's the box for the Cronus Max Plus and that's the Mayflash Magic NS adapter. You will also need a USB hub as well. Now what makes this hard is we could just plug the adapters into the PlayStation 4 and it will just work. The problem is after between 7 and 8 minutes the controller disconnects and then reconnects again. So it only disconnects for a split second and then reconnects, but that's enough to throw you out of your game and then you've got to resume the game again, so it's not ideal. Now that's because of the security feature of the PlayStation 4, it always needs to see a DualShock 4 controller. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to connect this up to the USB hub, and then as long as that's connected to the USB hub we can use a Nintendo Switch Pro controller and we can also use the Joy-Cons all day long. It's not a problem. It won't disconnect as long as we've got that plugged into it. Even though this isn't actually turned on, it just needs to be plugged in to the hub itself. So this setup is far from ideal. You can't just use the controller via Bluetooth on the PlayStation 4. So are you actually going to use this in the real world? Well, probably not, because you need two adapters, a USB hub, and you're still using up a controller anyway. So there's not really going to be any circumstances where you're going to need to use it, because you need an extra controller if you want to play two players with it anyway. So this is just really for a bit of fun. It's quite nice to be able to use the Joy-Cons on the PlayStation, and also it's funny to hear the HD rumble of the Pro controller really going for it. It sounds like a really rusty motor when it kicks in. So what we have to do is we have to get the Cronus Max. Now I haven't programmed this, so the buttons are all just default. Basically what happens is the buttons here completely mimic these buttons here. So if it says to press X, you're going to have to press B. If it says to press the circle, you're going to have to press A. And then we've got a home button here. This is going to be your options button. This is going to be your share button. This button does absolutely nothing. That's normally to take the picture. And then everything else is as you would expect. When you click on here, it's the same as clicking in on here. If you click in here, it's the same as clicking in here. So basically they are just the same. But if you want to swap it, because normally on a Nintendo you would press A as kind of the main button, and on a PlayStation you would press X. You can swap the buttons around, and I will show you that later on in the video, by basically just holding down the plus and the A, and then to revert back again you put it to the plus and the B. But I'll show you that working later. So we're going to get a Cronus Max and we're going to plug it into a USB port, doesn't matter which one. And now we're going to get a USB hub. You can see now it's recognised it as a controller, but we're not going to do anything just yet. We're going to get a USB hub and we're going to plug it into the Cronus Max. Now this USB hub was only from the pound shop. It is the cheapest, nastiest hub you can get. But what I like about it is it's labelled up with 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that's port 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically this is actually quite important. You're going to have to plug your Nintendo Switch controller into port 1, and then you're going to have to plug the PlayStation controller into port 4. Now if you're using a USB hub that's not numbered, which is the majority of them, you can either do it by trial and error by just plugging in into different ones, because it does make a difference. It's not going to work if we just plug them into any of the ports. It has to be 1 and 4. So what you can do is you can go via Windows and you can use a program called USB View or USB Tree View. And then what you can do is you can plug in, for example, your Xbox 360 controller, or plug anything into the ports, and then you can see what port it's being plugged into. Now remember, we want to do number port 1 for the Nintendo Switch controller and port 4 for the PlayStation controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our USB cable and we're going to make our PlayStation controller a wired controller. So plug that into there, and now we've got the other one here. Okay, so that's plugged in there like so. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get our Mayflash adapter, the Mayflash NS adapter, and we're going to plug it into port 4. Like that. Now we want to make sure it's on the green one. Right, okay, so what we now need to do is we now need to pair up our Pro Controller with here, or I can do my Joy-Cons. Now, with the Joy-Cons, you have to do it with the right one first, then the left one. So let's pair up the right one to begin with. So we're going to hold down this button here. At the moment, these are not paired up. These are paired up to my Nintendo Switch. So we need to hold down this sync button here for a few seconds until the lights start flashing like that. Okay, so that's now in pairing mode. And now we just need to tap that little adapter like that. And now it will sync up. And now do the same with this one here. Gonna hold it down. Okay, so that's synced up. Now let's turn this one back on again and it should sync up. There we go. Right, okay. They're now both synced up, so I'm just going to put them in the little holder here. Right, I'm just going to mount the camera so it's easier for me. Right, so you can see both lights are lit up here and I can move it around. But I need to sign in as myself because at the moment this one is still the player one, the live controller. So all we need to do is hit B, which is the same as X. And now, can you see now, that's moving around there. And now this one is no longer working. Yeah, so that's why it's using up a controller. That's no good to me anymore. But you can still do 2 players. So right now, that's going to be player 1, but now if I did want to do a 2-player game, I can just use another PlayStation controller. Okay, and I'm going to sign that one in as a new user. Play as a guest, do not sign in. Okay, so that's that one there, and you can see, oh okay, so it's asking me to switch to this one, so press that one, and now it says guest 1, and that's going to be that one, and now if I go to this one, that will now be myself. And there you go. Right, okay, I'm just going to show you Drive Club working with this, and then I'm going to show you the Pro Controller working. Now, is this going to be as good as a DualShock 4 controller? Well, no, not at all, because it hasn't got the analog triggers, it's got digital triggers. So for a racing game, this is going to be pretty awful because you're not going to be able to control the car. It's just going to be, well, sorry, you're going to be able to control it, but you're not going to be able to control the speed. It's just going to be full on or full on the brake, full on the throttle, full on the brake. And also it's confusing, when you're using this you automatically want to keep pressing A to enter something in, but you've got to press B. But actually I'll just show you that, I'll show you that working now. So basically if let's say you do want to use it as a Nintendo Switch controller where you press A to enter in stuff, then by doing this combination of buttons here it's going to change it. Basically I'm going to press plus and B and hold it down for around 3 seconds. Okay, and now what will happen is when I press B, it will actually go back, and when I press A, it will now go forward. So you can see now that A has become the thing to enter in the details. So now it's working as a Nintendo Switch Pro controller with the button layout. So basically, A has gone to B, B's gone to A, X has gone to Y, and Y's gone to X. So it's completely swapped round. But I'm now going to swap it back again so it mimics the DualShock 4 controller. In other words, I want the bottom one to be X. Now all I need to do is hold down the plus and A to put it back to how it was for 3 seconds. Here we go, and now if I press B, it should be enter and A should be back. So let's go back. Yeah, so that's back. So Canada, that's the same as pressing X. Yeah, so if you're really used to these controllers, then you can have it set up for how you would normally play it on the Nintendo Switch. Well, so everything works as you would expect it to work. If I was to tap home, you can see now I've gone to home. Right, so we're going to do this one here to change the camera angle, and then this is going to be accelerate, brake, and then I'm going to be changing the gear. I've got it on manual gears. Let me just see if the rumble's working when I'm on the Joy-Cons. No, I can't feel any rumble with the Joy-Cons. So the rumble works on the Pro controller, but I'm not getting anything on the Joy-Cons. Now, you might well be able to change that setting if you were to go into your Cronus Max. There might be a setting to be able to change on that, but by default I haven't got any rumble on here at all. Right, okay, so that's the Joy-Cons working. Now let me show you the Pro controller working. So exactly the same as before. I'm just going to now unsync these two. And all we have to do is put this into pairing mode. So hold down the sync button up the top here until the ones at the bottom start flashing. There we go. And now again, just get this and just tap this. The button's so small, it's so hard to tap it. Right, there we go. So they're both synced up. And you can see it's just working now. I haven't got to go and register as a player because remember, the Cronus Max has already done the registering as the player, so it's still playing as me. Right, so you can see it moving around, so let's just resume. Now, with this one, hopefully, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the volume down and you'll hear the HD rumble really going for it. Right, listen to this. Can you hear that? It sounds like really, really rusty. Right, let me hit against something. Let me get some speed up. Right, this corner coming up down there. Yeah, and it feels really strong as well. Right, so there you go. That's how the Nintendo controllers work on the PlayStation. So it's quite easy to set up. Whether you're actually going to do it in real life or not, probably not. But if you are interested, those adapters are the Cronus Max Plus and also the Magic NS adapter. These ones are approximately 50 UK pounds and these ones are approximately 20 UK pounds. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.